They laughed at it. They called it a toy, a metal lunchbox, a joke on wheels. And maybe they were right, because standing next to the massive German Panther, this tiny tank looked like something a child would draw in a school notebook. But on one cold morning in 1944, this toy-sized machine shocked the entire German front, because in just 1 hour it destroyed 15 German Panthers, stopped an entire armored assault, and turned a doomed battlefield into a historic victory. And the craziest part? No one believed the report at first, until they saw the wrecks. The tank nobody wanted. The British 6th Armored Division had a problem, and that problem weighed 45 tons, had 80 millimeters of armor, and carried the feared 75 mm KBK cannon, the German Panther. Every Allied tanker knew what it meant to face a Panther head-on. Long-distance kills, accurate first shots, and armor that laughed at smaller Allied guns. So when the British introduced a new, tiny tank into the unit, a tank barely half the size of a Panther, everyone stared in disbelief. It was the Alecto Mark I, nicknamed the shoebox, the iron cricket, and most commonly, the toy tank. It was light, fast, but too small, too thin, and with a gun that looked like it belonged on an armored car. Or at least that's what everyone thought, except for one man. Lieutenant Adrian Cole, 25 years old, quiet, obsessed with engines, known for reading manuals more than sleeping. He didn't care that people laughed at his assigned vehicle. He didn't care that other officers mocked it. He whispered only one sentence the first time he touched its controls. Speed beats armor. His crew thought he was crazy. The morning everything went wrong. It was early, fog covering the Belgian countryside. A thin layer of frost blanketed the trees. Silence hung heavy, broken only by distant artillery rumbling like a restless sky. Cole's Alecto was hidden behind a cluster of ruined farmhouses. His crew, Sergeant Miller, gunner; Harris, loader; Bennett, driver. They were drinking cold tea, shivering, waiting for orders that never came. Then a British scout jeep arrived at full speed, mud flying from its wheels. "Panthers!" the scout yelled. 15 of them, advancing fast, straight toward this sector. Cole froze. 15 Panthers? Against them? Against his toy tank? Even Miller muttered, "Sir, this is suicide." But Cole wasn't listening. He walked to the edge of the ruined barn, binoculars in hand, and there, through the drifting fog, he saw them. Massive silhouettes, perfect German formation, the metal giants moving like a pack of armored wolves, and they were heading directly toward the British infantry line, men with only rifles, Piets and hope. If those Panthers broke through, the entire flank would collapse. Cole took a deep breath and said the one sentence nobody expected: "We're going after them." The plan that shouldn't have worked. Miller grabbed Cole's arm. "Sir, with respect, we'll die before we get in range. Their guns will punch through us like paper." Cole nodded. "But their guns need to hit us first, and we're going to make that impossible." He outlined a plan so insane that his crew stared in shock. 1. Use the fog as camouflage. 2. Move at top speed, never stop. 3. Hit them from the sides and rear only. 4. Fire, relocate, fire again. 5. Make them believe multiple enemy tanks are attacking. Alecto's strength wasn't armor. It was speed, more than 40 mph on open ground. Something no German Panther expected from a tank. Cole climbed into his commander's seat. "Driver, warm the engine. Gunner, load AP. We're about to hunt giants." The engine roared, small, loud, aggressive. The toy tank was awake. First Panther kill, the shot no one saw coming. As they raced through the fog, the ground blurred beneath them. Miller struggled to steady the gun. Harris slammed shells into the breach, hands shaking. Then they saw it. A Panther. Side armor exposed. Turret angled away from them. A perfect shot. "Range, 350 meters, Miller whispered. Cole shouted, "Fire!" The Alecto's gun cracked like thunder. The shell sliced through the side of the Panther. A flash, then a geyser of flame burst from the tank's engine deck. The German crew never saw what hit them. "One down," Cole said calmly. His crew stared at him in shock. This wasn't a suicide run. This was a hunt. The Panthers began to panic. As they sped through the fog, Cole kept shifting position, never staying in one place, never letting the enemy aim. The Germans, confused, began shouting on their radios. "Enemy tank left flank." "No, right side." "Multiple light tanks attacking." "We can't get visual, too fast." There was only one tank attacking. but Cole made them believe an entire squadron was hitting them. Another Panther appeared through the fog, its turret turning too slowly.
AP ready!
Harris shouted. Take the shot, Cole ordered. Boom! The Panther exploded from the rear, ammo cooking off in a massive fireball.
2!
Miller yelled. The hunt begins. The battlefield was turning into a maze of fog, fire, and confusion. But inside the tiny Alecto tank, everything felt strangely calm. Cole's voice remained steady, almost unnervingly so. Driver, swing left. Gunner, be ready. We're not stopping till they break. The crew followed without hesitation now. Fear had transformed into adrenaline. They had seen the impossible. 2 Panthers destroyed in minutes by a tank the size of a bakery cart. And suddenly the toy tank didn't feel like a joke anymore. Panther number 3, the ambush shot. The fog thinned for a moment, revealing a single Panther moving cautiously, turret scanning left and right. It had seen the burning wrecks of its comrades. It knew something was hunting them, but it didn't know what. Halt, Cole ordered. Let him come closer. The Alecto sat completely still, engine humming softly. The Panther turned, exposing the vulnerable, almost vertical armor plate at the rear. Now, Cole whispered. Miller fired. The AP shell hit the rear deck, penetrating straight into the engine block. A burst of flame erupted, and smoke poured out as the massive tank lurched forward, dying in seconds. 3, Bennett shouted, his voice cracking from disbelief. Cole didn't celebrate. He simply said, Move, they're searching for us. German radio panic, it's too fast. The German command net was descending into chaos. Unknown light tank, repeating, unknown type. It moves too fast, can't get a shot. We need air support. Pull back, regroup. The Panther crews were veterans. They had fought Shermans, Cromwells, Churchills, but nothing behaved like this thing. Appearing from fog, striking from the side, disappearing before they could rotate a turret. To them, it felt like being hunted by a ghost. Panthers began to split. Fear does strange things to discipline, instead of staying in formation. 2 Panthers turned off the road, trying to flank the invisible attacker. Cole saw their movement instantly. Driver, will cut between them. Gunner, be ready for close range. Bennett pushed the throttle forward, and the Alecto raced into the gap between the 2 German tanks. The crew could hear the Panther engines now, deep, growling, powerful. Left one first, Cole ordered. Miller swiveled the gun. Boom! The shot struck the left Panther's turret ring. The turret jammed instantly, sparks flying. The tank came to a dead stop like a frozen beast. Before the crew could escape, boom! A second shot ignited the ammo rack. 4! The right Panther was still turning, desperately trying to aim its massive cannon. Cole yelled, Driver, full speed, cut behind him! They skimmed past the Panther so closely that Bennett could have reached out and touched its armor. The German gunner fired. A blast so close it deafened the Alecto crew for a moment. But the shot missed. Within seconds, they were behind the giant tank. Miller didn't need orders. He fired. The rear armor melted under the impact, and flames erupted as the Panthers slumped forward. 5 Panthers! And the battle had only just begun. The German commander finally seized the enemy. Major Reinhardt, commander of the German armored spearhead, was losing his patience. Every time a radio call came in, it was worse than the last. We're hit. Can't see the enemy? It's behind us. It's too small, can't track it. Another Panther destroyed. Finally, Reinhardt's own Panther crept forward to investigate. Through the fog, he saw 2 burning wrecks, and a fast-moving shadow dart between the trees. What is that? He muttered. He raised his binoculars. For the first time, the German commander saw the truth. A miniature British tank. Small, low, fast, agile, and absolutely deadly. Reinhardt smashed his fist against the turret wall. All Panthers! Form a defensive circle, now! But it was too late. Cole had already lined up his next target. Panther number 6, the blind side. A Panther rotated its turret toward a sound in the fog, unaware that the Alecto was already flanking it from behind. Hold steady, Cole whispered. The Alecto slid to a stop. Boom! The shot pierced clean through the Panther's side armor, exiting in a shower of glowing steel. The tank erupted like a furnace. 6! The Panthers fire back. For the first time, the German tanks fired in every direction. Kaboom! 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 Shells blasted through trees, dirt flying into the air. One shot landed so close that the Alecto shook violently. Bennett shouted, "Sir, we can't take a hit like that." "One direct shot and—" "I know," Cole said calmly. "That's why they won't get one." He pointed toward a shallow creek bed. "Drive her down there. We'll use it like a trench." The Alecto slid into the creek, water splashing up the armored sides. Now they were almost invisible. And ready to strike again. Panther number 7, the creek shot. A panther appeared at the top of the bank, searching. Its hull was perfectly exposed, belly armor vulnerable. Miller fired upward. The shell punched through the thin underside metal like paper. The panther's entire lower hull erupted, lifting it off the ground before crashing back down, burning. 7! Half the panther force was gone. But Cole wasn't slowing. Cole's famous words. Smoke drifted. Fog curled. Burning panthers lit the forest like orange lanterns. Inside the Alecto, Cole looked at his map and simply said, "We keep going until they stop breathing." His crew felt a chill. This wasn't bravery anymore. This was vengeance, the ghost of the fog. The fog thickened again, curling through the Belgian trees like pale smoke. The battlefield had changed completely. Burning panthers scattered across the fields, German crews scrambling for cover, and one tiny British tank moving like a predator through the mist. Inside the Alecto, the crew were drenched in sweat. The tank's interior smelled of metal, oil, and gunpowder. Yet Cole looked sharper than ever. 7 down, he whispered. 8 more to go. The Germans try a trap. Major Reinhardt had finally understood one thing. This enemy tank, whatever it was, wasn't fighting like a normal tank. It attacked like an ambusher, a phantom, always hitting from the sides, rear, or blind angles. So Reinhardt changed tactics. He ordered 4 Panthers to form a tight box formation. Panther, 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 Panther. Turrets covering every direction. No flanking possible. A perfect trap. Or so they thought. "Let him come to us," Reinhardt said coldly. "When he fires, all 4 of us will fire back." Panther guns were loaded. Turrets locked. Engines rumbled like distant thunder. And then they waited. Cole sees the trap and smiles. The Alecto moved quietly through the fog, until the silhouettes of 4 Panthers appeared in a square pattern. Miller gasped. "They're waiting for us." "It's a trap," Harris whispered. "Sir, we can't flank that. They've covered every angle." Everything about the formation screamed danger. Even Bennett, usually silent, spoke. "Sirs, what's the plan?" Cole didn't blink. He simply said, "We don't flank them." The crew waited. Cole leaned forward. "We go straight through them." The charge, Alecto at full speed. The tiny tank accelerated like a race car. 40 mph, 45 mph, 50 mph. The engine howled. The ground turned to a blur. The Panthers spotted the movement. "Enemy tank! Front sector! Prepare to fire! Take him down!" All 4 German cannons began to turn, but they were too slow. The Alecto burst through the fog like a streak of metal lightning, charging directly at the center of the Panther box. Bennett yelled, "Sir, we'll be within point-blank range." "That's the idea," Cole shouted. "If we're too close, they can't lower their guns enough to hit us." It was insane, but it was true. Panther guns couldn't depress low enough to target a tank right in front of them. Point-blank kill, Panther number 8. The Alecto screeched to a halt at the very center of the Panther formation. Miller swung the gun and fired upward. Boom! The shell smashed into the weakest armor on any tank. The turret ring. The Panther froze, sparks exploding around the base of the turret. A second shot. The ammo inside cooked off. The turret blew clear off the hull, flying through the air like a metal crown. 8! Harris screamed. German gunners panic. The remaining Panthers tried to rotate turrets downward, but it was useless. They were too close. Their guns were too long. Their depression angle too limited. They couldn't shoot, but the Alecto could. Panther number 9, side armor break. Cole shouted, "Driver! Right side, now!" The tank drifted, literally drifted, around the burning Panther. Miller fired into the right side Panther at 30 meters. The shell cut through like a hot knife. "Panther down!" 9. Smoke and flames roared into the fog. Panther number 10, the turret jam shot. The 3rd German tank tried rotating its turret to track them, metal grinding painfully. Cole saw the exposed seam under the turret. Gunner, turret jam point. Miller fired with surgical precision. The shell wedged into the turret ring, locking it completely. The Panther froze.
Hit him again!
Cole yelled. Second shot. Boom! The German tank burst apart. 10! Panther number 11, the close-range kill. The last Panther in the formation finally managed to aim, but too late. The Alecto blasted it at point-blank range, the shot ripping through the hull front like paper. The tank shuddered, smoke pouring from every hatch. 11! Within just minutes, Cole had dismantled a formation that should have been impossible to beat. Reinhardt realizes the truth. Major Reinhardt stared in disbelief. 4 Panthers, lost in under 3 minutes. He gripped his binoculars so tightly they cracked. "This isn't a tank," he whispered. "It's a devil." For the first time, he understood. The enemy was only one tank, one, and it had destroyed 11 Panthers. Reinhardt's voice shook as he gave his next order. "All remaining Panthers, retreat to the ridge. We will make our last stand there." Cole's resolve hardened. Inside the Alecto, the crew was trembling, but not from fear, from something else, something heavier. They had destroyed 11 German tanks, but they could still hear engines in the distance. 4 Panthers remained. Cole stared into the fog. "We're finishing this," he said quietly. "No survivors." Miller swallowed. "Sir, why? Why push this far?" Cole didn't look back. His voice dropped to a cold whisper. "Do you remember the village we passed yesterday?" The crew nodded. It had been destroyed. Walls burned. Civilians executed. Children missing. "They did that," Cole said. "And today, they pay?" The Alecto turned toward the ridge. The hunt wasn't over. In the end, this toy-sized tank rewrote history. One morning, 7,000 seconds, 15 destroyed Panthers, a victory no one believed, until they walked the battlefield and saw the burning steel for themselves. Lieutenant Cole and his crew proved that courage isn't measured in armor thickness or the size of a gun, but in the fire inside the men who refused to back down. This wasn't just a battle. This was a message. Speed can outrun fear. Strategy can outsmart strength. And even the smallest tank can become a giant killer. If you want more unbelievable stories of impossible battlefield moments, hit that subscribe button and watch the next episode. Because history is full of legends like this, waiting to be told.